In the heart of Nigeria's core city, a bold promise is taking shape. Governor Peter Mbah of Enugu State has declared that the state's legendary coal reserves will no longer gather dust as stranded assets. Instead, they will power a new era, generating at least 1,000 megawatts of electricity. Enugu coal, with less than 0.5% sulphur content and a high calorific value, is considered premium. Mbah insists that modern technology can keep its environmental impact low, while unlocking long-forgotten potential. The governor made this case in Lagos at the Nigerian-British Chamber of Commerce Meets the Governor series, where investors gathered to hear why Enugu is now a state on the move.
Enugu also has huge mineral assets. We're quite heavy. They tend to think, of course, because we were referred to as a coal city, that even though we have one of the best coals, sure, an oxymoron to say you have the cleanest coal, but yes, we do have the cleanest coal. And you know, this coal, it's only comparable to what you have perhaps in Japan. A sulfur level of 0.5 and a calorific value of more than 6,700.
We are expanding trade and market access for goods and services. We're driving technology transfer and innovation exchange across industries, strengthening standards and governance frameworks that give confidence to international markets, building academic and research linkages between European institutions and UK centers of excellence, encouraging diaspora investment by harnessing the skills, capital and networks between the UK-Nigeria corridor.
Nigeria is also the United Kingdom's second largest trading partner in Africa and its largest export market. And in February 2024, we signed something called the Enhanced Trade and Investment Partnership, which was about trying to increase those levels of trade, trying to make trade more smooth between our two countries. It's the first of its kind that we have signed with an African country, and in fact it's the second globally, the first being with India. And you've seen where the trade relationship between the United Kingdom and India has gone. So we certainly hope for the same sort of trajectory between us and Nigeria.
Mbah pointed to an 80% drop in crime rates, driven by heavy investments in security. Businesses are not designed to absorb insecurity, he said. He had to take crime out of the way. Tourism is next. The newly completed International Conference Center hosted 20,000 participants at the Nigerian Bar Association's 2025 conference. Its adjoining five-star hotel is nearing completion, and above Enugu's hills, construction is set to begin on a monumental symbol, the Cross of Hope, a 100-meter landmark at the state's highest point designed to attract millions of religious pilgrims. Enugu Air, the state-owned carrier, has already surpassed passenger projections just 1 month after launch. 6 additional aircraft are expected before year's end, with an expanded cargo terminal and a fully operational international wing by early 2026. By next year, 4 branded hotels will join the landscape, preparing the states to welcome 3 million visitors annually. The Nigerian-British Chamber of Commerce hailed these bold steps as evidence of Enugu's transformation. This is not a state waiting for the future, said NBCC President Abimbola Olashore. It is a state actively shaping it. And the international community is watching. The British Deputy High Commissioner Johnny Baxter revealed that trade between Nigeria and the UK has now reached £7.9 billion, the highest on record. The UK, accounting for 65% of Nigeria's foreign direct investment, has signed an enhanced trade and investment partnership with Nigeria, its first in Africa. Through the UK's Developing Countries Trading Scheme, over 90% of Nigeria's exports to Britain will now be duty-free, provided they meet international standards.
Nigeria is also the United Kingdom's second largest trading partner in Africa and its largest export market. And in February 2024, we signed something called the Enhanced Trade and Investment Partnership, which was about trying to increase those levels of trade, trying to make trade more smooth between our two countries. It's the first of its kind that we have signed with an African country, and in fact it's the second globally, the first.
Coal. Security, tourism, aviation, trade. Governor Peter Mbah envisions an Enugu that is not merely surviving but leading. A state once defined by its coal mines, now shaping a new destiny.
Enugu will use coal to generate 1,000 megawatts of electricity. Ambitious plan, but I think this is what's become trademark of Governor Peter Mbah, who is sharing the fact that, it's time for Enugu to start using the heavy coal reserves that the state has, that the coal can no longer continue as a stranded asset. And of course, he rolled out several other plans that he has. Now, he spoke at the Meet the Governor series, which was held by the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce, where he presented a business case for investing in Enugu State. So beyond talking about coal and its potential to generate electricity, he also included updates about the fact that they've been able to reduce the crime rate in Enugu State by 80%. I mean, that's massive. They've completed the International Conference Center, which we know hosted the just concluded Nigerian Bar Association conference. And he also spoke about the fact that they're expecting delivery of more aircrafts towards the end of this year for Enugu Air. So I love to see positive developments. We often say that there's not enough attention given to the subnationals. We often don't hold governors accountable enough for the work that they do, because there's a tendency to focus on the federal, on the president and whatever is happening there. But Governor Peter Mbah, especially, we know that electricity is a sore point, whether it be in the private sector or for, average citizens like you and I at home. And earlier in the year, Enugu State had made an attempt to reduce the electricity price, if you remember. But they ended up getting embroiled in a squabble with the disco. So, Benga, I'll begin with you this morning. Great news coming from Enugu State and very ambitious plans as well.
Well, it shows that with the right laws and enabling environment, many of our governors, a lot of things would work well. I recall that just about 2 weeks ago, the governor unveiled the revamping plan for a gas plan, and now we can see him coming up with these audacious reforms in the electricity sector. The governor of the coal city, I think, is determined to maximize what the state has to set the path for self-sufficiency, and this is very rewarding. I remember that immediately the Electricity Act 2024 was flagged off. Enugu State was one of those who spearheaded that audacious move to generate its own power. And now 1,000 megawatts of electricity is about 1/5 of the entire nation. So I even see Enugu State having a great export potential of its electricity to some of the African neighbors if the necessary implementation strategy is in place.